What if I told you that the real reason most Americans lose their independence after 70 isn't heart disease or bad luck, but the quiet loss of leg strength that began years earlier? As a physician, I've watched too many strong, capable adults slowly give up activities they love. Not because they wanted to, but because their legs could no longer support them confidently. It starts subtly. Getting up from a recliner takes effort. Stairs feel steeper. Nighttime trips to the bathroom feel less steady. Then one day, a simple misstep changes everything. In Japan, adults in their 70s and 80s are known for maintaining powerful, reliable legs well into old age, not because of genetics, but because of daily habits that preserve strength, balance, and endurance. Today, you're going to learn the 5 exercises that protect the muscles responsible for standing, walking, and preventing falls. Because if you protect your legs, you protect your future. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Controlled heel raises. Rebuild the strength that keeps you moving. Before you blame your knees for feeling unstable, take a closer look at your calves, because more often than not, that's where the real weakness begins. By the time we reach our 60s and 70s, the calf muscles quietly shrink if they're not used with intention. These muscles aren't just for athletes or runners, they act as what many physicians call your second heart. Every time your calves contract, they help push blood back up towards your heart. When they weaken, circulation slows, ankles swell more easily, walking speed decreases, and balance becomes less reliable. Many people don't realize that reduced calf strength is directly linked to a higher risk of falls. If you've noticed that standing in line at the grocery store feels more tiring than it used to, or that your steps have become shorter and less confident, this is a sign your calves need attention. The beauty of heel raises is that they are simple, safe, and extremely effective when done correctly. Stand in your kitchen near a sturdy counter or heavy dining chair. Wear supportive shoes if you have sensitive feet, or go barefoot if you feel stable and secure. Place your feet hip-width apart, not too wide, not touching. Your toes should point straight ahead. Lightly rest your fingertips on the counter for balance. Do not lean your body weight onto your hands. They are only there for safety. Now, here is where most people rush, and that's a mistake. Slowly press through the balls of your feet and lift your heels off the ground. Rise as high as you comfortably can. At the top, pause for 1 to 2 full seconds. You should feel the calf muscles working, not sharp pain in the Achilles tendon or ankle joint. Then lower yourself down slowly, taking at least 2 to 3 seconds to return your heels fully to the floor. That slow lowering phase is just as important as the lift. Start with 2 sets of 15 repetitions. Rest about 30 to 60 seconds between sets. If that feels manageable after a week, increase to 3 sets of 20 repetitions. If balance is a concern, keep one hand firmly on the counter. If you feel strong and stable after a few weeks, you may gradually reduce hand support, but only if it feels safe. Common mistakes I see in clinic include bouncing up and down quickly, shifting weight forward onto the toes excessively, or leaning the body forward. Keep your spine tall, shoulders relaxed, and weight centered over the midfoot. If you experience calf cramping, stop, gently stretch, hydrate, and reduce the volume slightly the next session. If you have severe peripheral neuropathy, significant balance disorders, or recent foot surgery, consult your healthcare provider before progressing. Done daily, heel raises improve circulation, reduce ankle swelling, and restore push-off strength, the very strength that allows you to walk across a parking lot confidently or climb the steps into your home without gripping the railing. Strong calves don't just make you steadier, they make your strides smoother and more powerful, which directly influences how independent you'll feel 1, 3, even 5 years from now. And if you think calf strength is important, wait until you see what happens when we start strengthening the muscles that actually lift you out of a chair. That's where real transformation begins. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number 2. 2. Wall squat hold, the safest way to rebuild thigh strength after 60. If getting up from your recliner has started to feel like a small negotiation with your body, your thigh muscles are asking for attention. After 60, one of the fastest muscles to weaken is the quadriceps, the large muscles at the front of your thighs. These are the muscles responsible for standing up from a chair, lowering yourself onto the toilet safely, walking upstairs, and preventing your knees from buckling when you trip. When they weaken, everyday movements require more effort, and that extra effort often leads to instability and falls. The wall squat hold is one of the safest and most effective ways to rebuild this strength without putting unnecessary stress on the joints. Unlike traditional squats where the body moves up and down repeatedly, this exercise uses an isometric hold, meaning the muscles work hard while the joints remain stable. For older adults, especially those with mild knee arthritis, this makes a significant difference. To practice safely at home, choose a sturdy wall in a hallway or bedroom. Wear supportive shoes with good traction. Stand with your back flat against the wall. Your feet should be about shoulder width apart and positioned roughly 10 to 12 inches away from the wall. This distance is important. Too close and your knees will move forward excessively. Too far and you'll strain your hips. Slowly slide your back down the wall as if you are lowering into an invisible chair. Stop when your knees are bent to a comfortable angle. For some people, that may be 45 degrees at first. That's perfectly acceptable. You do not need to reach a full 90-degree angle to gain benefits. The key is control and comfort. Once in position, check your alignment. Your knees should be stacked over your ankles, not pushed past your toes. Your back should remain in contact with the wall. Gently engage your abdominal muscles to support your lower spine. Breathe normally. Do not hold your breath. This is one of the most common mistakes. You should feel a gradual, steady burn in the front of your thighs. That sensation is muscular effort and it is expected. However, sharp or stabbing knee pain is not. If you feel joint pain, slide up slightly to reduce the depth. Start by holding the position for 15 to 20 seconds. Rest for about 1 minute. Repeat 3 times. Perform this exercise 3 to 4 times per week. After 2 weeks, increase the hold to 30 seconds. Over time, work toward 45 to 60 seconds if tolerated. If you have balance concerns, place a sturdy chair in front of you for psychological reassurance. If you've had recent knee replacement or severe arthritis flare-ups, consult your physician before attempting deeper angles. What makes this exercise powerful is that it directly improves your ability to stand up smoothly, climb stairs without pulling on the railing, and control your descent when sitting down. It builds endurance in the exact muscles you rely on dozens of times each day. Strong thighs don't just make you feel steadier, they buy you years of independence. And once you strengthen the muscles that lift you, the next step is learning how to train the muscles that keep you from falling in the first place. And that's where things get even more interesting. 3. Single leg balance, the hidden key to preventing falls. After 60. Most falls don't happen because someone was weak. They happen because the body couldn't react fast enough. That split second when you trip on a rug, step off a curb awkwardly, or turn too quickly in the kitchen, that's when your stabilizing muscles either save you or fail you. After 60, it's not just muscle strength that declines. It's coordination, reflex timing, and the small stabilizer muscles around the ankles and hips that quietly weaken when they aren't challenged. This is why single leg balance training is one of the most powerful exercises you can practice at home. It strengthens the exact muscles responsible for keeping you upright when life throws off your balance. To begin safely, stand near a sturdy kitchen counter, heavy table, or hallway wall. Wear supportive shoes if you feel more secure that way. Position your feet hip-width apart and stand tall. Relax your shoulders and look straight ahead at a fixed point on the wall. This helps your brain stabilize your body. Gently shift your weight onto your right leg. Slowly lift your left foot just an inch or two off the floor. It does not need to come high. The goal is not height, it's control. Keep your standing knee slightly soft, not locked. Engage your abdominal muscles lightly, as if preparing for a gentle cough. Breathe normally. At first, your ankle may wobble. That wobbling is not failure. It is your nervous system waking up muscles that have been underused. Allow small adjustments. If you feel unsteady, lightly touch the counter with 1 or 2 fingers. Avoid gripping tightly unless necessary. Start by holding the position for 10 to 15 seconds. Lower your foot slowly. Switch sides. Perform 3 rounds per leg. Practice this daily. Consistency matters more than duration. After 2 weeks, aim for 20 to 30 seconds per leg. Over time, work toward 45 to 60 seconds if safe. When that becomes easier, you can gently increase the challenge by closing your eyes for a few seconds or standing on a slightly softer surface, but only if you feel confident and stable. If you've fallen within the past year, always keep one hand hovering close to support. Safety comes first. This exercise activates dozens of small stabilizing muscles in the ankle, knee, hip, and core, muscles that traditional strength training often misses. It also strengthens the communication between your brain and body, improving reaction time when you stumble. Many older adults tell me they avoid uneven sidewalks or feel anxious walking in crowded places. Balance training directly reduces that fear because it restores trust in your own body. And when confidence improves, movement improves. You're not just training your legs, you're retraining your nervous system. Strong balance can mean the difference between catching yourself and ending up in the emergency room with a fractured hip. And while balance keeps you from falling, the next exercise builds the deep foundational strength that supports your entire body weight. And that's where real power begins. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 4. 4. Horse stance, Kibadachi. Build deep leg strength that supports you for life. There's a reason some older adults can stand in the kitchen for an hour cooking Thanksgiving dinner without their legs giving out. And it's not luck, it's endurance strength. As we age, we don't just lose explosive power, we lose the ability to sustain muscle tension over time. That's why standing in line at the pharmacy feels harder than it used to, or why your legs start to ache halfway through a family gathering. The muscles in your thighs and hips fatigue faster if they haven't been trained to hold your body weight steadily. The horse stance, known in Japanese martial arts as Kibadachi, develops exactly that kind of strength. It is an isometric posture, meaning the muscles stay engaged without repeated movement. This makes it joint-friendly while still highly effective, especially for adults over 60. To begin, find a clear space in your living room or bedroom. Wear supportive shoes. Stand tall with your feet wider than shoulder width apart. Your toes should turn slightly outward, not excessively. This positioning protects the knees and allows the hips to open naturally. Slowly bend your knees and lower your hips as if you are sitting into a wide, invisible chair. Keep your chest upright and your shoulders relaxed. Your weight should be evenly distributed between both legs. Avoid leaning to one side. Your knees should track in the same direction as your toes. They should not collapse inward. Lower only to a comfortable depth. For many people over 60, this will not be a deep position at first. That is perfectly fine. What matters is maintaining good alignment and steady breathing. Once in position, gently engage your abdominal muscles to support your spine. Breathe normally. Do not hold your breath. You should feel your inner thighs, quadriceps, and glutes working together to support your body. A steady muscular burn is expected. Sharp joint pain is not. Start by holding the position for 10 to 15 seconds. Stand up slowly and rest for 30 to 60 seconds. Repeat 3 times. Practice this exercise 3 to 4 times per week. After 2 to 3 weeks, increase your hold to 20 to 30 seconds. Gradually work towards 60 seconds if tolerated. Over time, you may notice that activities like carrying laundry upstairs or standing while cooking feel less tiring. Common mistakes include letting the knees move too far forward past the toes or allowing the hips to rise too high, which reduces effectiveness. Keep your torso upright and imagine pressing the floor apart with your feet to activate the hips. If you have acute knee inflammation or recent knee surgery, avoid deep bending and consult your physician before practicing. This posture builds foundational strength, the kind that supports you when lifting a grandchild, gardening in the backyard, or navigating uneven sidewalks. It teaches your legs to hold your body weight confidently and steadily, which becomes increasingly important with each passing year. Strong legs are not just about movement, they are about stability under load. And once you've developed this deep, grounded strength, there is one final movement that restores something many Americans quietly lose after 60. The ability to comfortably lower yourself toward the floor and rise back up with control. 5. Resting squat. Modified deep squat. Restore the strength to lower and rise with confidence. Here's a question most people over 60 don't like to test. If you had to sit on the floor today, could you stand back up without grabbing onto furniture? In American culture, we rely heavily on chairs, recliners, and sofas. Over time, that constant elevation quietly removes one of the most natural human movements, lowering our body close to the ground and rising again. When that pattern disappears, ankle mobility stiffens, hips tighten, and thigh strength declines. And eventually, the idea of getting down to play with a grandchild or pick something up from the floor starts to feel risky. The resting squat, commonly practiced in parts of Japan as a natural resting position, helps preserve that movement pattern. For older adults, we modify it for safety while still gaining powerful benefits. To begin, stand in front of a sturdy kitchen counter, heavy table, or railing. This is not an exercise you rush into without support, especially if you haven't squatted deeply in years. Wear supportive shoes with good grip. Place your feet about shoulder width apart. Toes can point slightly outward. Slowly bend at your hips and knees at the same time, lowering your body as if sitting down toward a very low chair. Keep your chest lifted and your spine neutral, not rounded forward. Most importantly, keep your heels flat on the floor. If your heels lift, reduce the depth. Depth will improve gradually as mobility returns. Lower only as far as you can comfortably control. For some, that may be halfway down. For others, it may be deeper. Use your hands on the counter to control the descent. Once you reach your comfortable depth, hold the position for 15 to 20 seconds while breathing normally. You should feel your thighs, hips, and calves engaged. To come up, press firmly through your heels, engage your glutes, and rise slowly with control. Avoid pushing your knees inward. Keep them aligned with your toes. Start with 2 or 3 holds per day. Over the next few weeks, gradually increase the hold time to 30 seconds, then 45 seconds. Some individuals may eventually reach 1 to 2 minutes, but that is not necessary to gain meaningful benefit. This movement strengthens the quadriceps, glutes, hips, and core simultaneously. It also improves ankle flexibility and hip mobility. two areas that significantly influence fall risk. More importantly, it rebuilds your confidence in lowering and rising under control. If you have severe knee arthritis, recent hip replacement, or acute joint inflammation, consult your healthcare provider before attempting deeper positions. You can always practice partial squats within a safe range. What makes this exercise powerful is not just muscle activation, it restores a life skill. The ability to move toward the floor and return upright safely is directly tied to independence. Studies show that floor transferability strongly predicts long-term mobility outcomes in older adults. You are not training to impress anyone. You are training so that 5 years from now, you can still move through your own home without hesitation. And now that you've seen how each of these 5 movements rebuilds strength, balance, and endurance from the ground up, let's bring it all together and talk about what this truly means for your independence in the next chapter of your life. Protect your legs, protect your future. There comes a point in life when strength is no longer about performance, it's about protection. After 60, the body becomes more responsive to how we treat it. Muscles shrink faster if unused. Reflexes slow. Joint stiffness increases quietly. What once felt automatic, standing up, turning in the dark, walking to the bathroom at night, now depends heavily on the strength and coordination of your legs. And here's what many people don't realize. Most serious falls don't happen during exercise. They happen at night when you're sleepy, slightly dehydrated, and your muscles are not fully awake. A weak push-off from the calves. A delayed reaction from stabilizing muscles. Thighs too fatigued to catch your weight. That's how independence begins to slip away. The 5 exercises we discussed are not random movements. Together, they rebuild a system. Calf strength improves circulation and walking stability. Wall holds rebuild the thighs that lift you from a chair. Balance training sharpens the reflexes that prevent falls. The horse stance develops endurance under load. The resting squat restores the ability to lower and rise safely. When practiced consistently, these movements do more than strengthen muscle fibers. They reawaken neural pathways between your brain and your body. They preserve mobility patterns that determine whether you will still be confidently moving through your home 5 years from now. Here's the honest truth. The body after 60 is more fragile than it was at 40, but it is far from helpless. Muscle tissue still responds to stimulus. Balance can improve, endurance can return. What changes is not the ability to adapt, but the need for intentional practice. If you ignore leg strength now, the next 1 to 3 years may bring increasing stiffness, slower walking speed, more fatigue, and greater reliance on railings and furniture. Within 5 years, the risk of falls rises significantly if strength continues to decline unchecked. But if you commit to even 10 to 15 minutes a day of structured, thoughtful movement, your future can look very different. Stronger steps, greater confidence at night. Less fear on uneven ground, more control when lowering yourself into bed or rising in the morning. Healthy aging is not about avoiding decline entirely. It's about slowing it intelligently. It's about understanding what the body needs and adjusting early, not after a fall forces you to. Your legs carry your weight every single day. They carry your independence, your dignity, and your freedom to stay in your own home. Protect them now, because the strength you build this year is the independence you will rely on in the next 5. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.